Right now at noon, a burglary at a towing business results in criminal damage, leading to the arrest of 2 local men.
And we've got a warm and windy day across the area ahead of some thunderstorm chances. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, tragic developments in Texas as the body of an 11-year-old girl who'd been missing since last week was found in a river.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. In today's top story, a pursuit through Webb City ends with the car being spiked as the driver flees on foot and eventually falls in mud and is detained. Just after 9 last night, a car fled from Webb City police during a minor traffic stop. As the car raced east on MacArthur, officers spiked the car and it crashed onto the median at the east roundabout. The driver then ran from the car only to fall in the mud, where he was pepper sprayed and arrested. Charges are pending. A burglary with criminal damage led to the arrest of 2 local men. On Sunday, February 18th, officers with the Chanute Police Department responded to the 4800 block of South Johnson Drive for a burglary in progress. 2 suspects broke into a towing business. Officers arrested 43-year-old Elijah Sheed and 31-year-old Carl Rakestraw of Pittsburgh, Kansas for burglary ×5, criminal trespass, interference with law enforcement officer, and felony criminal damage to property. And authorities charged 2 more suspects in connection with the Kansas City parade shooting. This time it's adults, and the charge is murder. The 2 suspects are Lindell Mays of Raytown and Dominic M. Miller of Kansas City. We do not yet have Miller's mugshot. Authorities say the 2 men have been hospitalized since the shooting that killed 1 woman and injured 22 others. They each face a second-degree murder charge. Investigators believe the men did not know each other before the shooting. Charging documents say there was an altercation between the suspects, who were both armed, and that it was Miller who fired the fatal shot that killed Lopez Galvin. These suspects are in addition to 2 juveniles arrested on gun-related and resisting arrest charges.
We seek to hold every shooter accountable for their actions on that day. Every single one. So while we're not there yet on every single individual, we're going to get there.
I am grateful that the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office has charged them with various felonies as consequences of their reckless actions. The Prosecutor's Office has my full confidence in the handling and prosecution of this case.
I'll say very briefly that lawlessness and criminality will never be tolerated in Kansas City.
The suspects are being held on $1 million bond.
Yeah, we've had a warm and windy day across the area. It's been beautiful. Earlier this morning, MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line. This is what mostly cloudy, of course, looks like. You get a little bit of sunlight, but you have more clouds than clear sky. And you get a better shot of that from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. Getting a bit breezy this morning already. You can see those cloudy skies. And from this view, it's all clouds, but you can also see sunlight out there. And that's going to be the trend for us for the rest of today into the evening. Yesterday started right where we should be at 30, but look at that high, 69 degrees. Now we're 9 degrees off a record, but well above where we are supposed to be for this time of year. And our temperature trend, you can see where we're still above normal. We're actually going to remain that way, but you can see where those temperature trends have been with that average high of 52, and we're just sticking above normal. Again, not that anybody is complaining. So here's a look at what we're tracking. Of course, today it's warm and breezy, got those gusty south winds out there. Then we've got scattered storms rolling in tonight. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe, so we'll keep an eye on that. And we're also keeping an eye on a system as we head into next Tuesday as well that could pack a bit of a punch with it, so we'll keep you updated on that. We'll take a look at all of this and tonight's storms, plus this weekend in the full forecast. That's coming up here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. The Parsons, Kansas Police Department held a discussion on the challenges facing local law enforcement. They were joined by Congressman Jake LaTurner. Parsons Police Chief Robert Spinks also gave LaTurner a tour of the site of a proposed public safety center. City officials hope LaTurner can help them secure partial funding to build the cutting-edge facility.
Law enforcement is stepping up to the plate. This center will be helpful with recruitment for new officers, new folks going into the fire department as well. And so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to learn more. I'm glad to be a part of it.
The proposed Public Safety Center would create a centralized location for both the Parsons Police and Fire departments. And the wrestling team at McDonald County made history yesterday. The high school treated the team to an exuberant send-off as it heads to state competition with not one, not two, but 3 female wrestlers ready to compete. For the Mustangs coach, the occasion proved to be a special one.
I mean, this is an exciting year from that standpoint, getting our first not only state qualifier, but 3 on our girls team. And like I said, Coach Davis, all the props to him. He's put in a lot of time and effort getting this girls program where it is, and along with our coaching staff. And I think just hopefully setting the standard that this isn't just a boys' sport anymore.
The high school will also send 2 returning state champions on the boys' side to defend their titles at state competition. And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon, a Utah mother of 6 who gave parenting advice on YouTube pleaded guilty to child abuse charges and will go to prison. We'll have the new details on her sentence. And later, we're making the best broccoli salad in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Stay tuned. A Utah mother who once offered parenting advice on her popular YouTube channel will spend up to 30 years in prison for child abuse. A judge sentenced Ruby Frankie yesterday after she admitted to abusing her children. Frankie's business partner, Jody Hildenbrat, received the same sentence. National correspondent Jerica Duncan has more.
To my babies, my 6 little chicks, you're a part of me.
With her lawyer by her side, Ruby Frankie broke down as she apologized to her 6 children.
I'll never stop crying for hurting your tender souls. You're so precious to me. I'm sorry.
Welcome back to Connections. I'm Ruby Frankie.
The once popular,
I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
And sometimes controversial parenting influencer was sentenced Tuesday to up to 30 years in prison after pleading guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse.
He's obviously covered in wounds.
Frankie's brutal approach to parenting came to light last August when her 12-year-old son escaped to a neighbor's house begging for help. Authorities said he was malnourished, covered in wounds, and bound with duct tape. In her plea deal, the 42-year-old admitted to kicking her son while wearing boots, holding his head underwater, and covering his mouth and nose with her hands.
The abuse was horrific, and it would have been apparent to anybody that would have seen the kids that something was wrong here.
Frankie claims she had been manipulated by her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, a former mental health counselor who pleaded guilty to child abuse and also received up to 30 years.
I sincerely love these children. I desire for them to heal physically and emotionally.
It will now be up to the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole to determine the actual time served.
Ruby Frankie, I don't think she has good grounds for appeal because she did plead guilty, and this is well within the judge's discretion.
Jerica Duncan, CBS News, New York.
The body of an 11-year-old girl who'd been missing since last week was found in a river yesterday. And now a friend of her father's who'd been living on his property is facing charges in her murder. CBS's Omar Villafranca has the heartbreaking details.
I sadly announced that Audrey's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59.
A sheriff confirmed what many feared. 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham was killed. Investigators spent the day combing the waterways outside of Houston for any clue into the disappearance before finding her body today.
We will continue to process the evidence that has been gathered to ensure that the justice for Audrey.
An Amber Alert was issued Thursday after investigators learned Cunningham never made it on the school bus that morning or to school that day. Search crews from several agencies were looking on the banks of the Trinity River.
My heart aches with this news.
Prosecutors say they will charge 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal with capital murder. McDougal lived in a trailer behind the family's home and admitted to leaving with Cunningham on her way to school. He had a criminal past, including a conviction for child enticement. but he did not have to register as a sex offender. Cunningham's mom couldn't hold back tears when she spoke about her missing daughter late last week.
She has so many opportunities ahead of her, and she deserves every right to be able to reach those opportunities.
The sheriff said there were two keys in finding the girl's body. One was video evidence sent in by tipsters, and the other was the suspect's cell phone data. If convicted of capital murder, McDougal could get the death penalty. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dallas.
Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
If you have a few people at home who are hesitant about eating their veggies, what we're making today might be just what you need. And as for veggie lovers, they're going to love it too.
But first, we are tracking thunderstorm chances as we head into tonight and early tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at that, plus that weekend forecast when the KOAM News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So it's been a warm and breezy day for us out there. It is almost like May. Now, we've been comparing some of this weather to March. It's practically like May for us today. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line from this morning showing us where we've got some clouds. We also have some sunlight, and that's again where mostly cloudy comes from, where you have a few patches that allow some daylight through. Another good shot of that from our camera this morning as well on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. From this view, it's pretty much socked in clouds, but off to the east, that sunlight still finding a way through to make the day not too dreary. And we do have the thunderstorm chances as we head into tonight. Let's talk about the rest of our afternoon. We're warming into the mid-70s. Some of us out to the south and west, especially upper 70s. I mean, look at Bartlesville and Veneta potentially pushing near 80 degrees by this afternoon out there. And then we go overnight tonight. Now, our evening looks pretty good, but as we head into very early tomorrow morning, we're going to start to see an opportunity for a few scattered thunderstorms. And here's one potentially right here at 1 a.m. They're going to be relatively isolated. As you can see, you get outside of this little zone here and there's not much going on. And by 4 o'clock, the main thunderstorm activity is out of here and we're just left with a few showers, and we could see a couple of additional showers through the mid-morning hours before we start to clear out by the afternoon. Now, the thunderstorms are part of a surface low that's going to develop today out to our south and west. So, of course, once it passes through, the winds behind it will shift out of the north. And so we're going to have gusty north winds tomorrow. We're going to feel a little colder, but we're still going to be warm and above average into the low 60s. Now, the storms tonight, the ones that we see, these are going to be isolated to widely scattered, could be strong to low-grade severe. So at this point, some of the good news is A, this has been cut back. From yesterday into early this morning, it had originally encompassed about this zone, all the way down to the Missouri-Arkansas border and into northeastern Oklahoma. It has been condensed significantly, but we still have that area for the potential for some hail with some of the stronger storms out there. But as you can see, tornado and wind risk, no areas highlighted, so we're looking at very low risk on that. Just a hail concern for us tonight. So heads up on that. For the rest of today, though, south breeze again 10 to 15, those occasional gusts to 25, mid-70s, mostly cloudy skies out there. And then after midnight, we'll have those thunderstorm chances for some of us, not all of us. And again, some of those could be on the strong side. And we stay breezy, winds still gusting to 25, lows back into the low to mid-50s. Tomorrow, a little cooler, low to mid-60s. We'll have the morning showers, and then skies will gradually clear through the day, but those north winds going to make it feel a little colder, still gusting upwards of 25. We head into the weekend. It is looking gorgeous for the first weekend in like a month. We have a nice week and a nice weekend to go along with it. Sunny on Saturday, a few more clouds on Sunday, but low to mid-60s, low 70s, a great Monday as well. Then this is what we're watching next week, Tuesday. Thunderstorm chances afternoon and evening. What we're keeping an eye on is the power of this system, because you see our high of 73, a low of 25, and we're only up to 45 on Wednesday. So we're going to keep a very close eye on those thunderstorm chances. Some of those could be strong, potentially severe, but we're still several days out, so keep it right here. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you updated. Otherwise, after that brief cool down Wednesday, temperatures warm back into the low 60s by next Friday. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Stick around. We're making the best broccoli salad in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Today he's making the best broccoli salad. Take a look.
Just because we're smack dab in the middle of winter doesn't mean we only have to eat soups and stews. So in order to bring you a taste of summer, I thought it'd be fun if I'd share one of my favorite go with anything salads that always earns rave reviews. So if you're ready, I say we get going. The first thing we want to do is combine some mayo, sour cream, and a bit of sugar. After giving this a quick mix, we set it aside. Next, we cut some broccoli and cauliflower into florets. The key here is to make them all uniform in size. To this, we add some chopped red onion, a bunch of shredded cheddar cheese, and some crumbled bacon. Now, all that's left to do is toss our dressing with this and pop it in the fridge. And whether you serve this with your favorite sandwich or as a side dish with mom's meatloaf, you can't miss. You could even add some raisins or pine nuts if you'd like. To get the recipe for what we call our best broccoli salad, so you can add it to your lineup, simply visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, where today we found a fresh change of pace way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe, along with many others, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on Mr. Food. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so we've got those temperatures today, mid-70s out there, watching the possibility for some thunderstorms and a couple of strong low-grade severe storms with small hail will be possible between about midnight and 4 a.m. for some of us. A little cooler tomorrow and Friday, low 60s. We have an absolutely beautiful weekend out there, and then we're keeping an eye on those thunderstorm chances as we head into next Tuesday, and that will also drop our temperatures for next Wednesday.
Well, it looks like some beautiful weather, right?
Yeah, you bet. Doesn't feel like February for
Not
sure.
at all. Well, Dal, what do you have for us tonight?
A lot coming up at 5. For starters, a dynamic duo is on a life-saving mission fighting heart disease with fitness during this American Heart Month. Plus, the Environmental Protection Agency is in Caney, Kansas as they work to remove and replace contaminated soil. And a Carthage teacher is making a difference one note at a time. How that teacher is helping all students enjoy music. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, is coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, and that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. Have a great rest of your day.